Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Gaming After Dark. I'm your host, Noof Nukem, and I'm here with my amazing co-host.
Primal Eve.
That's right. Not only do we have Primal in the house, well, she's always in the house, but we've got the other side of the community's nuclear explosions, Mr. Boomstick XL. You guys know this guy. He puts together some fantastic content, and tonight he's going to be bringing a few of his opinions, and who knows what else we're going to hear from Mr. Boomstick tonight. It is going to be a deadly episode, that is for sure. Spider-Man 356 says in the chat it's porn after work. Not quite that dirty, but hey, I would bring a shovel, baby. Let's get ready to roll. Before we get into it, let's just give a big shout out to everybody that's popped in and are the early birds to the show so far. Spider-Man 356 is here. Stinking Corpses in the house. We have also got Timothy Dixon, Starbuck Unlimited. We have got some new people, it looks like, tonight as well. Starbuck, I think, might be the first time here. So welcome, anybody who's new, and welcome back, anybody who's familiar with the podcast already. We've been gaining some momentum. Things have been going well. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's just get right down. We've done the introductions, but I want to know, Boomstick, how have you been, man? Thanks for joining us on the podcast. What you been up to? What is going on?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I was trying to hold out to episode 69, but unfortunately, I couldn't. So here we go. No, listen, dude, all jokes aside, I'm very, very happy to be here. We've talked about having me on the show. And listen, you're doing great. You're already, the show seems to be gaining ground, like you said. And you guys deserve it. You guys put on a good show. And again, you know what? There's nothing wrong with a more adult show when it's done, the way that you guys have been doing it. So I'm real happy to be here. I've been playing, the Division 2 has stolen my life. It is the game that continues to give back. I have Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I bought the collector's edition, which I'm going to be doing an unboxing. I'm going to do a videotaping tomorrow. I have yet to play it, but it's getting great reviews. I definitely want to jump into it. And really, that's about it. It's just been all about the Division 2. My God, Massive Entertainment really just knocked it out of the park. And of course, you're going to be a guest on Friday's Breakfast with Boom.
Yeah, baby. Can't wait. It's going to be fun. I like my eggs and bacon with my butt shaking. Let's rock and roll. Yeah, the Division 2, man. Hearing lots of good things about it. I'm not the biggest Division fan in the world, but I am hearing tons of good stuff. It definitely looks fantastic. The graphics are nuts. The amount of detail. I saw you post some stuff about that as well. It looks fantastic. All that good stuff. What's going on, Draven Arrow? What is happening? King Boo, Astray Gaming's in the house. Thank you guys for being here. Primal, what you been up to? What's been keeping you busy when you're not at work?
Same shit. I'm still trying to beat Tales of Vesperia. I am dipping into the Division 2. I wouldn't mind having some new games. My birthday is this weekend.
Nice.
If anybody, wants to have the gift of giving, and something my way. But yeah, no, just trying to get through. I really want to put some more time into the Division because I feel like every single time I'm getting into it, I have to go to sleep. So I'm hoping maybe this weekend I'll be able to put some more time into it. It really is a fun game.
Awesome. Well, the panel is already, people in the chat are already saying that they're having trouble hearing you, and I don't know what. Oh, now you just came through better. That's better.
Okay. Here, I'll repeat. It's my birthday this weekend. No.
That's way better. I don't know what you did, but now your audio is way louder.
Okay, awesome.
Anyway, I got her audio cranked all the way, guys. So I don't know what the deal is, but hopefully she's coming through louder and clear here.
Yeah, she definitely sounds clearer.
I'm gonna blame it on that.
Well, it is her birthday this weekend, guys. That's right. She is kind of hint that the game gifting is always good, so to speak. Something tells me if somebody had enough money to send Dazzy's way, he'd probably take a plane over and give you some birthday bumps.
Oh,
oh boy, when Daz was on here, that was a raunchy episode. Let me tell you. At least the chat was super raunchy. Holy hell, and man,
I swear I was having sex and I didn't even know it.
Oh yeah, he was talking pretty dirty. Oh man, this is good stuff. This is gonna be a good show, guys. What's happening, Creeper Dreadpool? Welcome to the podcast, guys. Like I said, without you guys, this podcast and most of our podcasts would pretty much be nothing. We'd be here just talking to ourselves, and I'm used to that anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing a bunch of different things myself. What have I been kind of tinkering with lately? I was playing Metro Exodus, going back to that a little bit. I was playing some um, Anthem. Jeez, I'm having like brain farts tonight. I don't know what's going on. Hey, wife, by the way, your noise in the background, people can hear that, okay? Yes, I don't need chirping in the background. Sorry, not to be a douche, but I'm just telling her. She's over there like on her cell phone with shit playing in the background. What? See, she's bitching at me now. She's not fucking chirping. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's right. All right. Anyway, let's get down. Oh man, sorry guys. I'm just I don't know, just trying to catch up to myself. Feel like my thoughts are going faster in my brain tonight.
Dude,
But anyway,
let me tell you, running a show is not easy. Anyone that's ever has never done it, trust me when I tell you, getting on the mic, having everything in front of you, having like for me, and I have a teleprompter that I read off of. I have my other I have 3 screens open at any one time,
damn.
and yeah, dude, it's not easy. It takes some skill. You have it. You are a radio DJ, so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you have brain farts. It happens. It happened to me. For God's sakes, I forgot someone's name live on the air. It was terrible.
Oh man, yeah.
It was bad. It was bad.
As long as it's a brain fart and not an ass shart, you know what I mean?
Oh, you don't want any of that.
Farting and shitting yourself during a podcast, that would really stink. But anyway, let's get into the topics. We got some fun stuff for you tonight. Like, super happy to have Boomstick on the show. Let's talk about one that's been making some noise since yesterday, and I can promise you that this podcast will last longer than that one. And that is the State of Play by Sony yesterday. Their version of Microsoft or Xbox's inside Xbox, so to speak. And let's start with our guest first. Boom, did you have a chance to watch the show? What stood out to you? What you liked? What you didn't like? And I know you're going to give it to us honestly, unlike Greg Miller, who's putting up some crap. You can elaborate on that too, which is either sarcastic or absolute asinine. I don't know, but take it away, Boom.
Here's the thing. I actually had put out a tweet prior when I found out that Sony was going to do this. I'm going to be honest with you, as a fan of Sony, who has really sat back and just watched and appreciated everything that they have done within their marketing for this generation. I mean, it's why they have sold nearly 100 million consoles. It's why they lead this generation by almost over double of sales. They always, when you talk about Sony, you talk about marketing, especially for the PlayStation brand, it's always balls to the wall, right? And so I actually had put out a tweet and I said, hey, listen, I'm really excited because I have a feeling that Sony's really going to bring it. Like, I had an idea. I wasn't going to say it was going to be a mini E3 like Greg Miller. I just had an idea that, okay, this is their opening show. This is the first one. They're going to bring it. We may get a visit from Sean Layden on there to say, hey, listen, here's a surprise announcement. And I'm going to be honest with you, to launch a program that's going to be monthly, the way that they did was not the way I would have expected a Sony of this generation to do. For me, as a fan of VR, I didn't expect to see so many VR games, but at the same time, the VR games that were on display did not impress me in the least. As a matter of fact, you and I talked privately. 2018 was really good for VR. They had Moss, they had Super Hot, they had Astrobot Rescue. I mean, they had some really quality, incredible titles. Something you told me to get, I forgot what it was. We'll talk off the air. Another game that you did, yes, the Firewall that you just got. You said it was fantastic. So so when you start seeing the VR, I'm like, okay, they're going to start off slow. And then we're really going to get bombed. And it bombed in the wrong direction. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm excited, super, super stoked for Days Gone. I have the collector's edition pre-ordered and paid for. Not a big surprise there, right? The game, we've seen it so many times. I just felt like it was almost out of place. We've seen it so many times. And the show lasted. I think I clocked it in at 18 minutes. It was closer to like it was like 17:47 or something. So I just said 18 minutes to be fair, and I didn't expect that. I walked away severely disappointed in regards to what Greg Miller, who I used to be a big fan of Kind of Funny. I'm a huge fan of Kind of Funny. As a matter of fact, I used to even pay them on Patreon because I was such a fan. And he put out a tweet that said a mini E3, lots of games, dates, no fat. And I'm like, I actually wrote to him and I'm like, Greg, I got to be honest with you, I don't think this was a mini E3. I put it to this way: they're missing E3, and we now know why. Because if they had some bangers to show, if they had something really relevant to show the peoples, that's what I would have opened up this show with and said, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do monthly. Get excited, Sony fan base. And even the Sony fans were pissed on social media.
Yeah. Well, I'll get Primal will jump in here on this one in a second, but yeah, like I mean, Greg Miller's kind of a cool dude. I kind of respect him, and sometimes some of the stuff I just can't believe he says. But he's a pretty popular guy, but that definitely sounded a bit weird. It was like if there's a form of damage control, that definitely sounded like it was that. Now, Boom, what do you think about this other thing? And I don't know how legitimate this is, but apparently, as I was watching the stream, and of course I was with Salty, and we were doing a live reaction to this whole thing. First of all, I thought it was really funny because Salty had people showing up to his chat, and he was like, "So when's the show starting?" And we were like, "Dude, it's already over." You know what I mean? It was kind of hilarious that people showing up in the chat, and we're like, "No, it's already over. We're actually giving our reactions to it." And they're like, "Holy crap, what?" So that was kind of the first thing. Like that was really short. But what about Boom? I don't know if you've been following the fact that some people are saying that it looks like Sony may have removed the initial reactions video and then reposted it again to try to make it look better because the likes to dislike ratio were very, very high. A lot of dislikes on that video, and it can't be all Xbox dudes jumping in there. A lot of PlayStation guys didn't like it because it was very VR centric, and obviously VR caters to a very small, portion of the PlayStation market, or so it seems at this point. So do you think Sony actually did something like that, or are we misinterpreting something here?
Dude, look, here's the thing. I actually did not hear that. Hearing it now, live on the air, makes me kind of sit back in my chair and do a little bit of the thinking man look. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously they know it didn't hit with fans. And you have to realize, let's just say for shits and giggles, they hit 94 million, which is, I think they've already done. They just posted a number for PSVR. They just broke 4 million units sold since it was released. I think it released in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So it's 4 million to 94 million users. That's not a really good. I mean, listen, 4 million of anything is good, especially for Sony. But if they did do that, I will say this: I did hear that the dislikes were like outrageous, like you said. It would not surprise me if this was. I mean, they're gonna have to damage control this. This was. I got a question for you, Mr. Host. How about this? Do you think that we're ever gonna see a second episode just because it did so bad?
Well, I think they're committed to it, and I'm pretty sure their second episode will be a lot better than this one, or at least we can certainly hope. And again, everything is all about perception, right? I mean, one person's trash is another person's treasure. For some people, maybe they really did like it. I mean, I'll give them kudos to say that one. It was short, which sometimes that's a good thing, right? Because one thing that if Inside Xbox is bad or guilty about one thing is sometimes there's too much filler, there's too much nonsense, there's too much chitter chatter in between. It's just like shorten this crap up, get to the point, give us some good news to talk about, something to get us excited, and stop bullshitting. So there really was no filler in there. So the length of time was good. But, like I said, they showed off a lot of Concrete Genie. We've already seen that game 3 or 4 times already at various shows. I was saying to Salty, like, How come they didn't have a little bit more to show of The Last of Us 2? Even something like that, something fairly significant to a game that is probably their most anticipated PlayStation game. There was nothing there with that too, right? And speaking of Salty's in the chat, what's going on, Salty? What's going on, Rob? What's happening, Indie Gamer? What is happening, Antonio Alacia? I hope I pronounced that right. Great crew up in here. But anyway, I want to get Primal's take on it. Primal, floor is yours. Matthew Roy Couture, what's happening, bro? Thanks for stopping in. Did you have a chance to check it out? What was your take on it all? You think it was a hit or a miss? What's the deal?
I did not have a chance to check it out, but I definitely saw a lot of reactions. So I don't think I will be checking it out at all. Um, it's a shame because I feel like Sony should be presenting something a little exciting, something to get the PlayStation players some blood going. And from what I hear, it was just like watching a rerun. I think it is great that they are focusing some stuff on VR, but for me, I feel like VR is still too soon, and
Yeah.
there isn't really anything exciting enough for me to really be like, oh man, I had to have one. So I don't know. If I watched it, I probably wouldn't really care. I mostly just watch Sony stuff. I keep my eyes peeled for specific games, and there wasn't really anything there for me to watch. The whole YouTube thing and the videos and the likes, that's a little embarrassing.
Well,
Like, oh,
Primal, you as a woman, to break it down for you, it was probably the equivalent of one of those dudes that goes down on you and he spends 20 minutes trying to find a clit and he still can't find it. And you're just sitting there, oh my God, come on. Right?
oh man.
Do I have to draw your roadmap? It was kind of like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? You're in the right spot, but you're missing. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what that was for Sony. So, yeah.
It's a shame and it's sad to see, and hopefully that they can get their shit together and do something more for the gamers instead of just giving nothing, pretty
I mean,
much.
very, very VR centric, and that's the thing. If you're going to do VR, I think they should leave that toward the end as opposed to like popping it out right off the start. I don't really know. Um, I mean, what else to say? I mean, and the other side is, are gamers just overreacting? You think maybe we're all guilty of it that we over expect too much all the time these
Spoiled.
days? Like, do you think that is part of it? And I'm referring to myself. I'm referring to a lot of people, and that goes for Sony fans and Xbox fans. It seems like every time something comes out nowadays, it's very rarely does it ever seem to meet or exceed expectations. It seems like
Absolutely.
there's always people just like ready to burn the house down. Like, oh, I didn't see this
Yeah.
and I didn't see that. Do you think that's part of it? Maybe you guys weigh in. What do you think?
Yeah, Dave, I'll let you go first, darling.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that we're spoiled. We're so damn spoiled when it comes to gameplay, graphics, everything. We're spoiled, and we always expect more, more instead of
Mm-hmm.
just enjoying what we have. Like, look at this from like even 20 years ago.
Yeah,
From the games that we played, we're so spoiled, and we miss out, and we stop appreciating the things that do go into games, and we look at the things that we shouldn't be looking at. So it is a shame, and I feel bad for a lot of more like the new generation of gamers because they come out pre-spoiled, so they're missing out on everything that made gaming. So it's
absolutely.
sad.
Yeah. Boom.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Again, it's one of those things. Yeah, I know that we want the most. We want all the information, right? You hear an event and right, okay, you take mini E3 or mini show, whatever. But to be completely fair, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When you think of Sony, what they've done this generation, and how, like I said, balls to the wall they've been with their marketing, you would have thought that this was going to be like basically a mini E3, or something along that lines where they were going to at least let the people know what's going on, because you see that's the biggest Achilles heel that they have right now. They have, I mean, let's just take a look back to 2018 and see what where they are from then to now, right? Post E3, 2018, Sony skips Paris Game Week. They skip Gamescom, right?
Mhm.
They have a so-so show at E3 with the flute players and the guitar players and all that other shenanigans, right? People standing for 8 hours in a tent. They cancel PSX. Then then 2019 comes. They announce that they're missing E3 2019.
Yeah.
So if you're a diehard Sony fan, like that's your brand, right? Like for me, it's the Xbox, but I support all three. There are several people in the chat, many people in the community that are like, you know what, the Sony box is the box that I pray to every night. That's what I'm going with. Well, if
Yeah.
if you're one of those gamers, you have to be sitting on the sideline saying, man, I don't know what's going on because we have no information. So when I heard about the show, I'm like, okay,
Right.
Sony's going to bring it. Right, they're not going to spend money at E3, but they can at least, do something big here. And I really think they let all their fans down.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. Yeah, like Timothy Dixon says in the chat, he's sure that they'll go bigger, closer to E3. They'll try to drop some big announcements and steal a little bit of that thunder, so to speak, before Microsoft drops their show. And that might be true. I don't think Sony is done for sure. I definitely think they've got some really cool stuff behind closed doors, and they're waiting for the optimal time to drop it. There's no question about that. And like I said, you just got to keep your expectations in check. It is what it is. It's just a little show. At the end of the day, you know what? You watch it, you either like it or you don't. You go back to playing games. And that's the way it is. It might have been fantastic for some people. I can honestly say the first game that they showed on VR was the Iron Man VR game, and I actually thought that looked really cool, and I'm actually excited for him. I'm a big VR supporter, and I'm not going to distract from that. I keep hearing all the time that VR is dead. Well, for something that's dead, boy, the developers sure are putting a lot of money behind it because, it takes a lot of commitment to get new technology off the ground, and VR is still in its infancy and it has a long ways to go. Some of us love it, some people don't for various reasons, and that's okay. Like the thing is, don't worry that VR is going to come out and take away your traditional gaming. It's not meant to, it's not going to. So you're going to say something, Boo?
No. I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'm a big VR supporter. I love it. I think it's a fantastic device. I just wish they had more games.
Indeed. Jay Slayer, what's happening, man? Thanks for checking out the podcast. Awesome, man. Good crowd up in here in the chat tonight. Love it. Lots of people jiving in. Let's get the chat's take on the whole thing. Out of a rating of 1 to 10, guys, where would you score it? And there's got to be some diehard Sony fans in this chat. There's got to be some guys here that love Sony and been supporters of it. And I want to get an honest take. Not the troll side that Sony can't do no wrong, because good gamers will call out crap when they call out crap. And yes, Born Distracted, right. Iron Man didn't look really big budget. No, it didn't. Hopefully it gets a bit more work. But, the premise of Iron Man and VR is really cool. So on a scale of 1 to 10 in the chat, guys, what would you give it? Obviously 10 being the best, 1 being yeah. So Matthew Royce is a solid 3. Spider-Man gives it a 2. Timothy Dixon says 4. Salty 0 to 10. So what's the rating on that, Salty? Antonio Lacia 4.5. Give it about a 5. King Boo's Die Hard, but he says about a 4. That's nice to know, King Boo. Thanks for that. East Texas Alex, what's happening, bro? Gives it a 4, and he gave it a 5. King Boo a 4. 11.5 Z Black Rider. Oh, you must be taking his. He must be watching too much Game Over Greg either. Is he or what? Hey, you know why this show wasn't a real banger? Why it wasn't a mini E3? Because they never had a flute solo to start off this fucking thing.
Right.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
It needs more flute. Oh, man. Or the skin trumpet, right? Right, Primal?
Yeah.
Primal knows how to play the skin trumpet. Oh, fuck. Well, let's not beat around the bush too much, unless it's Primal's bush. But yeah, let's keep this show going.
What is that?
There you go. There's only 2 kinds of good bush in this world, and that's between the lady's legs and the kind that you drink. It's called Budweiser from Anheuser-Busch. All right. I'm just kidding, guys. You know me. Dirty Myrtle over here. All right. Let's get into the well, kind of segueing off of that, let's just talk quickly about the whole Sony taking out their digital codes from places like GameStop. What do you think that's all about? Prime, I'll let you start in this one. Good thing, bad thing? Why do you even think they're doing that? It seems kind of an odd thing to be doing in this day and age where they're pushing digital.
It is kind of weird. I feel like Sony's going backwards. It doesn't make sense to me. Um, I don't really understand. They're not losing anything, but they're not gaining anything either. I honestly I don't know what to say about it because I don't really care. Um, so I don't know. It's not even a second thought to me,
Well,
really.
you used to work at a GameStop, so were digital
Yeah.
sales kind of big at that point before you left, or were they just kind of picking up steam? Did
Oh
you have those
no.
cards then?
No, we didn't. Everything was just completely physical.
Uh,
We didn't really get into anything digital ever. The only digital thing or any code thing we had were subscriptions and gift cards. Like there wasn't
Right.
really anything else. There might be like a digital code for a movie that could be in there that we had to pull out. But no, there wasn't anything. There weren't any games that were digital at all at the time.
Okay. So were you left GameStop then before the Xbox One era then?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like when did I leave? I left 2010. So, yeah,
Okay.
I worked there a long time ago, back when they
Right.
were real
So
gamers.
PS3 and Xbox 360 and the Wii were still the big systems then,
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely, yeah, and I really loved that time because first of all, the whole console war thing wasn't
Hmm.
really a big deal, and each console had its place. If you wanted the single player stuff, you got the Sony. If you wanted the multiplayer, you got the Microsoft. If you wanna have family fun, friendly games, you had Nintendo. It wasn't like, "Oh, man, this system's better than the other." It's actually what you preferred, and nobody else really freaking cared what you did.
Hmm.
So, I miss those times.
Boom. How about you, man? What do you think Sony's doing with this little move? It seems kind of weird to me, but give your sure take.
You know, Eve made a really good point. Sometimes Sony, as dominant as they've been in this generation, they do that one step forward, three or four steps backwards.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Right?
weird.
I mean, first of all, when you look at what they've been doing, like right now they're behind in a big way. Like people don't understand that. See, right now all we can think of 100 million consoles sold and all their amazing first party software that they had in 17, 18, and a couple of good ones in 19. But they're not really looking past that.
Hmm.
And I have to be honest with you. I don't know what the ratio is what Sony gets because this, obviously we've seen like a big shift in digital content from like Steam, right? Like Steam has been really taking it on the chin from the Epic Store, like all the because obviously if I was a developer, you'd rather spend 12%, right,
Right.
or, than the 30 that Steam is getting. Right, or is it 18? I think it's 18. So it's a significant difference. I don't know what they're losing in regards to what GameStop or Walmart or Target are getting to buy a digital item. But it is very strange that you can only now buy digital related items from actual PSN.
Mhm.
I again, like I said, I really agree with Eve on that, taking a step back because you know it's funny you bring up this story, and I have it in my show notes because, like I said, Friday show is going to be very Sony heavy because it's been a lot of
Hmm.
really good Sony news, some good, some bad.
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, is it strange to say that this kind of it came out and it was kind of muffled, right? Like
Yeah.
normally, if this would have been Xbox doing this, and again, it's not. I'm not trying to bring up the console war. I'm just bringing facts here. If Xbox had did this, it would have been like the world was on fire and burning.
Right.
Sony does this, and you see one or two stories about it, and no one from I didn't see anybody from the community be like, "Oh, this is horrible." Because I got to be honest with you, if you're a Sony fan and you have like a gift card, for instance, to to GameStop, you're gonna have to go buy a PSN card instead of the actual game.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think that it's a really weird way of
Yeah.
thinking, and I don't know which direction they're going, guys. I just don't know.
Yeah.
They're
Well, my
so unpredictable. It's just I feel like every announcement and every move that Sony has been making is a what the fuck.
Yeah.
Like what are
Mhm.
you doing? Oh.
Well, I mean, it does seem a little bit backwards, especially in a day and age now where digital is becoming more prevalent. And again, it's kind of inconvenient because those were great ways for people to gift games and stuff. You go and buy the code and give it to someone, that
Right.
sort of thing. But now I think I saw an article just before we jumped on the show that it looks like Sony has something up their sleeve as well for their own version of game gifting. So maybe they're transitioning to something else. I'm not sure, but I had a good point. Um, I can't remember where I made the point. Maybe it was with Salty yesterday, but um, I was saying that I think a big reason they're pulling it out of stores is because it really makes no like money for them per se in the stores so much. What I think they're trying to do is drive more people to use PlayStation Now and the PlayStation Store. Because if there's one thing you should have noticed, and that's whether it's Xbox or PlayStation in particular over the last few years, have noticed how we've starting to see a lot more, at least game related advertising and things like that. That our stores are no longer simple dashboards; they're starting to become bulletin boards for games and
Yeah.
advertisements and Game Pass and PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus and games at Gold. Like they're always is a lot of it's game related. Like we're not seeing cheeseburger ads coming up on Xbox Live, or at least not yet, but give them time.
No, they
Uh,
used to.
but
They used to. But back in the day, we used to have like these random ass. Like I think at one point there was a Playboy ad, and there was a really big deal about it. There was some type of NSFW. I don't even know if I said that right. Type of thing, and
right.
there was an outrage, or I can't. Or no, it was Sports Illustrated. That's what it was, and they advertised it on Xbox Live on the 360, and they have done it before. So I really wouldn't be surprised if they started having something. They could have freaking Trojan on there. You know,
Yeah.
you never know.
That's but yeah, Liz.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. Whatever pays the bills, I suppose.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but I
Well,
mean, the thing is, right? They got to be making some money to be advertising these third party games throughout their store. Too,
Mm.
somebody's paying them to promote them, to put them as their page headliners, right? So they want to get traffic onto the stores. The more traffic onto the stores, in all likelihood, means that maybe somebody stumbles on PlayStation Now and subscribes. Maybe somebody sticks around the store long enough to goes, oh, I like that game, but I need PlayStation Plus to play it, and they buy a subscription. At the end of the day, I think that's where they want. They want people going to their store because it means more traffic, and traffic is good when they're trying to sell advertising dollars. Being from the radio industry, I know how this works all too well. And that while the industries are very different in radio compared to video games, that model has always been the same. It's always about traffic and foot space. The more viewers, the more listeners, the more traffic you get, the better chances that something is going to be successful. And this is why console sales actually do matter, because the more consoles you sell, the better chance it is of you selling the game to your audience, and that's the bottom line, right? I mean, obviously, Microsoft is going a different route because they're not selling as many consoles, so they want to put their option to play their games on various devices because again, it extends their audience, and that in turn brings in more advertising. But I don't want to get into that because that's a whole nother can of worms. Let's give a shout out again to some people in the chat. Middle Age Game Guy, how you doing tonight, my friend? King Boo, I can't remember if I said hello to you, but welcome again. The A bomb is up in here, -957. He says Xbox dead. I think there's a lot of people in this chat who would disagree with you. Xbox is just getting started, son. But yeah, but that's my thought on it so far. I think that's definitely a big part of it. They're trying to just drive traffic to their store. You know what I mean? So and it makes tons of sense. Yeah, so let's move on to another topic. That one's self-explanatory. Let's get in here. I'm just trying to figure out where my topics went. I don't do this as smoothly as Boomstick. He's got, like I said, all those multi monitors and everything ready to go. Oh fuck! I'm looking at the wrong chat message here. So I usually go out of my chat messages. I look at the thing and then I scroll down through. But let's talk about how about Battlefield 5, the Firestorm impressions. This was a highly touted battle royale game when it finally has landed. I had a chance to dabble with it a little bit the other day. How about you two? Have either one of you had a chance to jump in and check out Firestorm yet? Anybody? Either one of you can jump in.
Prime, I'll let you go, darling.
well, I'll be short and sweet. I do not have Battlefield 5. I don't know what I would do with another Battle Royale game because Apex Legends has destroyed me. Um, so I don't know. I wish them the best. If it's fun, it's fun. Like I said from the last episode, about how, like, with the trailer and stuff, it has enough to, maybe it wasn't the last episode. I don't know. On a podcast I was on before, I mentioned that that there could be enough to keep it afloat with these other VR games. So I hope the best. If I do pick up Battlefield 5 at all, I'll definitely try it out. But I'm not so sure.
Jesus, I'm smelling shit all of a sudden. In state of play. What the fuck? Yeah. Wife, are you dropping a deuce back there? What the fuck's going on? Whew.
Like, why are you? I'm smelling
man.
shit right now.
What? Are you taking a dump back there? Because, hot damn. Fucking, yeah, wife's back there dropping a nasty one here. All right, let's. I'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. Goddamn. I'm gonna be on the balcony, she said. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's my own version of Firestorm. That's my own version of Firestorm right there. She heard us talking about state of play and gave us her opinion. She dropped one.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it certainly wasn't Sony's best, but in regards to Battlefield 5, I don't have Battlefield 5. I didn't buy it. It just, yeah, I played 10 hours. I got my trial through EA Access. I thought it was ho hum. I got to be honest with you. I'm a big Battlefield fan, but I don't know, man. This one didn't grab me. The Ring of Fire. I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I saw the trailer when it was released, and it really amped me up. But I'm also not a BR guy. It's just Battle Royale is great for people who enjoy it. I'm more of a story kind of a dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather play I guess it's the selfish single player experience.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't mind teaming up with people on a bigger single / multiplayer game like a Division or Destiny or Anthem, because there is a story to be had, but at the same time, you're still hanging out with your friends. Battle Royale to me is just, I don't know, man. I think I'm not going to say it's ran its course, because Apex Legends is great. It's just that it's something I would very rarely be motivated to play. It's just, I don't know. Battle Royale is great. Like I said, if you love it, great. This is going to be really good for EA, more specifically DICE.
Yes.
I want to see them succeed, because obviously EA, they're very quick to cut ties with people. We've seen it. So I'm hoping that this does well. And you know what? Everyone that goes out and really breaks their ass making these games, they deserve their games to be good. And I think because it's DICE, it is going to be good. I did hear there are some pacing issues, especially when someone dies and they drop all their gear. It's a little confusing of what to pick up. They're going to figure it out eventually. But again, I've seen the trailer. I'm excited. I just don't, like I said, I'm waiting for it to come to the Vault. When it comes to the EA Vault, I'll play.
Right.
Here's an idea for Battle Royale. Okay, first of all, I played this one. It is what it is. It's Battlefield. There was no big surprise. The fire looks absolutely amazing. It's a lot better than this stupid ass, blue invisible shield or whatever the hell you call it. I mean, this actually looks really, really cool. It almost kind of makes sense, right? But it is Battlefield at the heart of it all. So if you don't like Battlefield, Battle Royale Battlefield is not going to draw you into this game, right? It's not a free-to-play mode either, so you still got to buy the full price game to play it. But I mean, like I said, it has its perks. The map is huge. The way you jump into the map's kind of cool, and that sort of stuff. Plus, you can jump in the vehicles and things like that. But here's my idea for Battle Royale, and this is something that might actually turn me around if someone ever does this. And what they should do in Battle Royale games is call it fully loaded Battle Royale. And what that means, you don't need no bloody shopping cart when you hit the ground. You don't have to run around and look for crap. You actually drop with a weapon and it's fully loaded out of the gate. Hence, fully loaded Battle Royale. Are you listening, developers? This might be catchy. But here's the thing to mix it up. At the start of your selection, though, instead of you just picking your loadout, which could be kind of that could be kind of advantageous for people that are really good with a certain rifle, for example, right? And you're just going around taking you to the bank. Why don't you have it? It's like a slot machine. So before you jump out, you get a chance to you hit a button and a slot machine rolls and you get a random weapon that goes in that slot machine. Do you know what I mean? And And yes, if you don't like that weapon, throughout the map, there will be some weapons scattered around and they will be loaded. You don't have to worry about getting the ammo and getting a scope and getting a piece and getting a piece. Like I said, the bloody shop, because that's the part that drives me absolutely nuts. Is like going around and watching your buddies go in a house and everybody's like, well, do you need this ammo? I need that ammo. Do you need this little scope? Yes, I need that scope. Do you need this kickstand for your gun? Yes, I need this. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, what, you get all this crap, you spend 20 minutes loading up your weapon and putting parts on it, and then you go out, what, 3 bullets and you're dead? It's like, well, that was kind of useless. That'd be like all of a sudden tomorrow I get a fucking 10-inch dick and it falls off before it gets to use it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So like that's the part I fucking hate. Like me and Jago always joke is like going to Old Navy when you start the game mode. It's like, what do we go get? You know? But anyway, it's cool, but it just isn't enough. What's going on, Iceman? How you doing, man? What has happened to everybody? Who else we got up in here tonight? Tip Top Dalton, how you doing, man? Creeper, how's it going? Mr. Kima, how you doing? Brian F, welcome to the show. Yeah, man, lots of cool people strolling in here. Mr. Boomstick's our guest tonight, guys. You know who this guy is.
Yes,
Most prepared effer in the business. What was that? Middle-aged noof just literally nailed BRTO to a T. Gotcha. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Salty is here in the chat. Iceman's awesome. By the way, Primal, congrats on kicking Stick Figure's ass the other night. I was actually watching you, and that dude was getting rolled so bad. I'm sitting there laughing. I was like, dude, did you? I think the whole time I was watching, I don't think he killed you once. He had you close, but it was like every time it was like.
No, it wasn't. It was just, I don't know. I'll just say I was able to talk still and kind of mess around, and then he just ran up. I think he was trying to go, like, you know whenever you get so frustrated because like you're dying a lot that you just keep running in and then dying like 10 more times. It was kind of like that situation, but it was good. He did get me a few times. I have my next person actually in chat. Iceman and I will be fighting this Saturday night at 10 o'clock.
Oh,
nice.
So
I can guarantee you that's going to be much. That won't be as lopsided for sure. Iceman knows how to play the game. Shout out to Iceman. Chisno Elite, what's happening, man? Cyber Gunter, welcome, my friend. All right, but anyway, we don't need to beat this battle royale stuff to death. It is what it is. I think it's going to have a quick lifespan. It's going to come out and be hot for a bit and then not. It's probably one of those things. Let's talk about one of the big games that dropped this week. Boom, I know you just picked it up. Primal, I don't know if you did yet or not. I have not, and I think you already know which one I'm talking about. I've already died 3 times just thinking about it. I'm talking about Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. Who bought it? Who's played it? What's your impression of it? What do you think about the hoopla it's getting? Boom, do you want to start it?
Yeah, I picked up the collector's edition. It was $90. It comes with a statue. Also, if you bought it from GameStop, it comes with a replica sword on a stand. It's a letter opener, but it's really cool looking. So I got that. I'm going to be doing an unboxing tomorrow morning. I'm going to set up the video stuff and do the recording and put that up tomorrow. I have not played the game because when I do the unboxings, I know it sounds kind of nerdy, but I actually want to do an unboxing where I'm shocked. I'm trying to bring the realness, if you will, to the people that are going to watch. So when I unbox something, it's really being unboxed there. So that's why I haven't played it. Plus, the Division has stolen my life. So I'm going to play it. It looks like it plays a lot like Neo, which was one of my favorite Souls type games, because I'm going to be honest with you, I am absolutely terrible in the Souls games. Absolutely horrendous. But I'm interested in this. I've heard a lot of people, and you talked about a few people breaking controllers live on the air. I'm going to be honest with you. If it's that frustrating, then it's probably be a game I'm going to get into. I'm going to try and work my way through it, but it's probably be a game I won't beat.
Right. But isn't that kind of sad? Because see, this is the thing that, the game looks phenomenal, right? I mean, I love the content. I like that era. I love everything about what I've seen about the game. And I haven't played it, but I have played I play like Bloodborne and stuff like that, and I played other games very similar to Bloodborne. And and I get it. I get the payoff. You work at it, and then you get really good, right? And then it feels very rewarding when you beat it or you beat various parts in the game. But for me, $80 is a lot of money for me to drop on a game that I might play for an hour, get beat up really bad, get discouraged, and then it goes into my backlog and I never play it again. To me, that's kind of a waste. I don't understand why From Software, and I said this to Salty the other day, I said, why don't they make a game mode at least in there for people that just want to enjoy the game? A game mode, it doesn't have to be insulting, but just called like story mode. So if you're getting beat up, you can click story mode, play the game. The enemies are either like sort of tough, but maybe have adaptable AI. So they notice if you're dying like 15 times in a spot, that the AI kind of weakens itself down so you can keep moving forward. You know what I mean? So that way you can learn, but you don't have to constantly swear and break controllers to go along with it. Like, why can't they do something with that? Because honestly, while their games are selling well, imagine how many more people would buy their game if it was a game accessible to other people, right? This is why a lot of people like Mario games, because they're accessible, whether you're a good gamer or a shitty
Right.
gamer, they're accessible, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, look. I agree with you. I think if you are going to spend $60 or $90 on the collector's edition, it would be great. But at the same time, I mean, I agree with you with the mode. I think that there should be I guess a relaxed mode, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
that just gives you an opportunity to kind of just explore, fight a couple of fight the bosses, bit lower difficulty, so at least you can say you played it and enjoyed it. But I think that with From Software games, you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not making an excuse, because obviously, if you spend the money, you want to play a game, because money doesn't grow on trees. Last time I checked.
Yeah.
Um, but it is unfortunate. Like I said, I bought all three Souls games, dude, all of them. The only one I didn't recently buy was the remake. I'm hoping that eventually like works its way into like Game Pass or something. Then I'll play it. But
Mm.
I bought those games, played it for like an hour, hated it, and just try it again another time. I just sucked at it, and I'm like, all right, I just lost my money. But I agree with you on the giving you a mode that you can at least enjoy the game as just you want to play it, but you don't want to get beaten to death.
Salty. I bought Sekiro Get Good Scrubs edition. No doubt. I mean, like, see, even Boom agrees with me. Why can't they have something like that? It's because they're afraid that of how the hardcore fans are going to perceive those other players, or you only beat it because you're playing on this mode. Like, who really gives a shit how you beat the game as long as you played it and enjoyed it? At the end of the day, money is money, man. Those guys want to make bank. They want their game to sell to the biggest audience ever. So why segregate it by, again, making it for only a certain crowd of players that love that ultra challenge? You know what I mean? Like, not a lot of us have the time. That's the second thing. Not a lot of us have the time to spend an hour on one level because you're having trouble beating certain things. Like, that shit frustrates me. I haven't beaten Cuphead for that reason. Like, I'll play Cuphead
Yeah.
for 15 minutes, and that game is really enjoyable. But honestly, I don't like dying at the same boss for 40 minutes straight, and then you're just like, you know what I mean? You're just like, screw this, So yeah, but anyway, Primal. I didn't think we got your opinion on. Did you buy the game, or are you planning to buy the game? What's your take?
Okay, I'm absolutely in love with feudal Japan history. I absolutely love that era. I love the entire environment. The collector's edition is badass. That fucking system is super duper uber kaduber fan fucking tastic. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's definitely a display system, nothing you'd actually want to play.
Mhm.
But no, I it's something that I think I would like to play, but like you said before, it's time. And I think at this point in my gaming timeline, I want to make progress. I don't want to. I don't have a lot of time, so I just like you said, I don't want to be there just on one level. I want to be able to carry on. If I would want it the difficulty to be dumbed down, I don't know. I love a challenge. I like to do things that are hard, um, and also that. Something that I feel like I accomplish something like whenever I defeat like a difficult boss
Right.
or I go through like a long trial and stuff. But at this point in time, I'm not ready for this. I didn't like Dark Souls. I tried it. I couldn't get into it. The only thing that's really making this attractive to me is the feudal Japan. That's yeah. I would try it out, but it's not something I need to have right now.
Yeah. Middle-aged game guy said, take it slow and steady. It pays off. I said in the chat, I said, well, that kind of sounds like jerking off with carpal tunnel syndrome, doesn't it? I can't hold on to this thing any longer. By the way, money doesn't grow on trees, but I once wrapped a $20 bill around my stump, if that counts.
Well, depending on how big the stump is really considered a tree or a nub.
Yeah, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I've already nicknamed it Littlefinger.
Oh,
just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Speaking of Game of Thrones, that shit comes out April the 14th. Oh my god, I can't wait. What a show that is. Amazing. I've been rewatching it. But anyway, Sekiro, guys, go play it, buy it, whatever. The game apparently is really good. So if you love the challenge, if you just like that era and that stuff, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to save my money probably and see how Ghost of Tsushima does when that comes up. Yes, Ghost of Tsushima. I don't have no one the fuck idea that is coming out. Probably when PlayStation 5 releases. I got a feeling that's a ways out. But yes, I definitely want to try that one, which probably won't be as punishingly hard, but looks damn good. Alrighty, let's get into like the next topic here. And sorry to keep you waiting here. Let me just jump back in here. Let's talk about the next one, and this one should be kind of quick. Nintendo may be possibly releasing 2 new Switch units this summer, according to some leaks. What do you guys think about that? Why do you think they'd even do that at this point, and what might you expect if you think this is legit? Primal, I'll go back the other way, and I'll start with you on this. Do you think there's any legitimacy here to these speculations, and what do you think Nintendo might have up their sleeve?
Honestly, this is something that's not surprising to me. The Switch, to me, I still see it as a handheld device. So I throw it in there with like the DSs and the Game Boys. Look how many DSs there are. Look how many Game Boys there were. So if they could find something to tweak with the hardware and make it better,
Nintendo's going to do it.
Yeah, they I don't know how they do it, but they could just keep pumping out just the same exact system with just the smallest adjustment and make millions and billions, and then they'll throw in another Mario, do another Super Mario Brothers remake, just throw it in there, and they'll just sell and sell and sell. So I could really just see them just taking it and just tweaking it just a little bit, and people are going to eat it up. Sure. It's definitely not surprising whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Boom. How about you, man? What do you think Nintendo may have up their sleeve? Do you think it's legitimate or not?
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing. We've heard about this for quite some time, right? That there was going to be a Switch, mid-generation console upgrade. I mean, the Switch is selling extremely well, right? And they're making money hand over fist. Like the Switch is really well done. These 2 new consoles, where we have rumored as to be a handheld version of the Switch, sounds like a Nintendo thing. A more powerful Switch to come out to replace this one, so you get beefier graphics, sounds like Nintendo. It is really just listen, all I can tell you is this: I'm a huge Switch fan. I have over 50 games for it. A lot of indie stuff, of course. But I have, of course, all their their first and second party stuff. I love it. If they come out with a more powerful Switch, I'm buying it, and no questions asked. If they come out with a handheld version, I'm not buying it because that's not the audience for me. But my nephew, I would buy it for Tyler. I'd buy it for him because he's always on the go. And you sometimes, you can't take the Switch, but where it's meant to be. But if they made it more like a Game Boy, I would wind up buying it for him. This sounds very Nintendo, if that makes any sense. Like, come out with, a new hardware 2 years in. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but if you've seen how many Game Boys have come out, they went from the standard big block one all the way up to the XL, and how many, different versions did they have since then? Just crazy. So Listen, again, it's great for Nintendo. It's great that they really turned it around coming off of the Wii U, which was a big failure, and I'm excited to see what Nintendo does.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple of options, and I think, I'm not surprised in the latest, or at least because if Nintendo's history is anything to speak by, they've generally always revised their system, especially the handhelds. I mean, how many times have we seen the DS and the 3DS, whether it's a color or a screen change or a different option? And I could totally see perhaps another various version of the Switch as we know it now, perhaps with I don't know, maybe just better quality Joy Cons, possibly. I also think maybe they'll do a revision to that base, the charging base or whatever, where people complained about it scratching. I could see the dock getting some improvements, maybe some sort of padding on the inside. I could also totally see another SKU, or maybe it's just a completely portable version of the Switch altogether that doesn't dock at all. Maybe it's all one piece, better screen quality. I definitely think if they make another version of the Switch, I don't think we're going to see a lot of differences to, say, the guts, so to speak, of the system. But I could definitely see maybe more onboard memory. Maybe they'll build it in with 64 gigabytes, or maybe even 128 sort of thing out of the box, and a few little things like that. It'll definitely be just small tweaks, and it'll be very valid for anyone who doesn't have a Switch. But I think anyone who already has a Switch, I don't know if Nintendo's going to add enough to it to make it sort of, oh my God, I got to go trade in my old version. But we know how people are, and people like the newest, greatest tech, right? So,
especially during Christmas time, holy shit! All the Nintendo products get eaten up. It doesn't matter. People will buy 2, 3 of them. They don't even care. They're just going to buy it.
Yeah. Do you think an all portable Switch, though, if that was one option, maybe like the Joy Cons are actually, instead of being detachable, maybe they're all built in one? Like, it's like basically a Switch portable completely. Do you think that could work, or do you think that wouldn't make sense for Nintendo?
Huh. I think it could work. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
It would be something any kid and anybody who travels would probably really appreciate, just to have something to grab instead of having the controllers off the sides. I think they could do it. I wouldn't be surprised if that was what they were going to be doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think it's almost a fact, or it's almost certain at some point they're going to want to keep that momentum rolling with Switch. Right now, they're riding a tidal wave into the end of 2019, and they're going to want to keep that going. And anything that Nintendo can do, whether it's colors or customization or whatever, they're guaranteed to try it for sure. I think it's almost a given. But anyway, let's move on to some other stuff here, guys. This has been a great show so far. Hope everybody's enjoying it. And speaking of this show, this podcast, if anybody has any suggestions for it, if there's a guest you'd like to see on here, or if you have little things that you think would make this a better podcast overall, I'm always open to suggestions. Me and Primal are very easy. I don't mean that in a dirty way. But this podcast is for you guys. We want you to come out here and feel it. You haven't wasted a minute of your time when you're here, so we appreciate that. So anytime you have a suggestion, you can send them to me in a private message or what have you. You can send stuff to Primal if you want. I don't know if she takes dick pics, but yeah, no dick pics. She probably gets lots of those. Let's talk about this other one, and then we're going to get into some lighter, fluffy topics before we close the show. Let's just quickly talk about the leak of the Xbox One S all digital edition, or as some people have liked to call it, the SAD edition. You guys have seen the pictures, right? What do you think about that? And I'll go to you on this one. Boom. You've seen the pictures, I'm sure. What do you think about it? How much do you think it's going to cost? And is this going to sort of reignite Microsoft a little bit? Maybe stir the pot and get some sales going?
Well, look, here's the thing. I've said this from the beginning. I think that if it launches for anything more than $150, which I think it's going to be a lost cause. I think I've heard people say, well, 200's the power price. No, if you want this to sell to the new age kids, because that's what this is targeted. This new way of thinking are the kids that grew up on their moms and their dads iPads and their iPhones, right, and their tablets and the Android tablets playing games. That's why the kids don't mind doing digital, games digitally, and that's why they don't have an affection for the physical disc like the old timers do. Like oh, we have to have the physical media. That's why. So if you want this to go up against a $200 PS4 and you want to bring in new players with the incredible value of Xbox Game Pass, I put it this way: you drop this at $150, $169, something like that, somewhere around there. Anything under 200. I'm not talking about 199. I'm talking about
Mhm.
go crazy, put it out there for 150 or 149.99, and I guarantee you're gonna have a hit. The same way the PlayStation 3 caught up to the Xbox 360 towards the end. I'm not saying they're gonna sell 50 million of these things. I'm saying that they have a good chance of selling a significant amount of a discless Xbox if the price is right.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Primal, how about yourself? Have you seen the pictures? What do you think?
I haven't really seen the pictures or anything, but I do. I think it's a great idea to have something. I'm going to do my best not to say dickless, but it's going to happen anyway. Um, to have something all digital, I think it's great gifting options too for people who can't necessarily purchase the games. They could game share. A lot of the stuff is going digital. It's easier for people to just purchase the stuff online versus going out
Mhm.
to the store. I just think it's something. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. And I don't think it's a sad box at all. It's options.
The
There's
options are great.
yeah,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with options in my opinion. Either you want it, you don't want it. You can still get a system where you can insert your disc. I
Mhm.
didn't say dick. I'm really proud of myself. I don't know if people actually do that. Who knows? Somebody can fit into a USB port. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think it's great.
Mhm.
I if if they had like an Xbox One X dickless system, I think that would be fantastic too. Um, it's great for people who it's more for people who I don't know. It's just more for people who don't want to pay as much, really.
Well, I'm going to say this much. I'm going to agree with Mooch when it looks like the box art for the actual packaging looks a lot like a Tupperware sales kit to me, as opposed to an Xbox thing. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. Yeah, I got to
Right.
start yelling on here, just like Mooch. You got it loud up in there. All right, but yeah, the packaging looks nasty. But mind you, that's irrelevant to the product. They have to differentiate it obviously from the other Xboxes, or they're going to get confused. Here's the other thing: the console looks exactly like the Xbox One X, and I suppose it's supposed to, without the disk drive slot right through the middle, right? So basically, this thing has no groin, so to speak, so it doesn't have a slot. It's dickish. I mean, it's good. Coming into the holiday season, and especially going through the summer months when things are slow. I mean, I get it, right? Microsoft right now, their big emphasis is obviously on Game Pass. They're trying to sell that like crazy, and this is a great proposition. But I think, like Boom said, the price has got to be right. I think it has to come in at 199 at least, maybe even less if possible. I think that's what you said, right? Boom, 199 maybe.
199 is good, but it's not good enough, in my
Okay.
opinion. Yeah, because we've seen the Xbox One S as low as 199. I would like to see it if Microsoft is serious about
Mhm.
getting the current generation of gamers used to the digital era and dropping this at 150. It would, dude, all of the PlayStation players who were only one console owner, because again, gaming, the hobby is expensive, and I say this all the time: when you can support all three consoles, it completely removes the barrier of of the console war bullshit. You can say that, okay, yeah, this is my main system, but I also get a chance to experience games on this one and this one. Some people can't do it because of price,
Mhm.
and this would be a golden opportunity for Microsoft to get back some of those 360 players they lost to the PS4 for power and price by offering $150 discless system and saying, okay, yeah, I said it right. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I know.
And and offering Game Pass for $10 a month, you're getting over 200 games.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, Boom, man. Like 150, like even Iceman says in the chat, you're sold. Like they at this point, they got really nothing to lose here. Keep selling extras. At the end of the day, right, you make money on games. They're making money by selling Game Pass, and if they put the price right, it's going to be almost like an impulse buy. You won't have to think about it anymore. You walk in and you see the competitor on the shelf for a couple $100 more, and especially if you're a parent looking to pick one up for your kids. Well, okay, here it goes. Game already comes with a couple games in the box, and they have Forza Horizon 3. They got like I forget what the other ones are, but there's already a couple of games in the box, sort of digital codes to put on there. Maybe they're preloaded, whatever. And then you get some Game Pass with that. And like it's a win-win scenario, right? I mean, us hardcore guys, we're going to buy the disc version of the consoles, and we already own the Xbox. And this is not for people that own Xbox already. This is to attract the new customers and the customers that will sort of take us through and finish out this gen, right? With everything being forward and backwards compatible moving forward, it's time to move some units, right? And this is how to do it. I mean, the biggest thing, my gripe is, I mean, I was hoping that at least if they're going to make it, they'd make it kind of like quite a bit smaller. But this thing looks like it's the size of a regular Xbox One S without that disk drive, and I guess it costs a lot more to take out the guts and go through a total revision on the console. It would cost a lot more money to the restructure it. So this way it almost looks the same. You just change the top of the box, take out that drive, and away you go, right? Just give me a second here, guys.
Dead
Did
silence.
he have to go plug up his wife or something? Like he was kind of like
Maybe he was being choked out by his wife. You never know. We may actually have a homicide live on the air.
Oh man.
But you know what? Getting back to what Noof is saying, the bottom line is this. I agree with trying to get back some sales, trying to get back some Xbox customers. They a lot of 360 players left for the PlayStation 4 when it came out, due to, again, price and power. Now you say, oh my God, power, what are you talking about? Boom. It was a big deal, 1080p versus 900p, right? And, the media made it a big deal. So it was a big deal. And, again, when you talk about casual players, the casual market is moved by news. Like, I mean, when they hear their friends talking about a system, what are you talking about there? Oh, you had a PlayStation 5. I was an Xbox guy. The new system sucks. Go with PlayStation. And the herd just moves. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the casuals. And there's nothing wrong with being a casual gamer. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But the casual market is a significant part of. Everyone likes to think, oh, it's the hardcore that rules the roost. Wrong, my friends. The hardcore is. I'm gonna stretch it here, really stretch it here, and say it's 20%, and I don't think it is. I think the casual market is somewhere in the mid 80s, 85, 88% of the market.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you there, Boom, because at the end of the day, like your hardcore, like say you got 1 million hardcore people buying, 5 games a piece, right? Is that ultimately better than 25 million casuals buying 2 games? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're buying lots of games, but their numbers still cannot be denied, right? It's that multiplication factor. The hardcore people do go up and buy lots of games, but again, we make up a small minority of the gamers out there compared to what the casual market is, who obviously have proven that there's big business. Because you look at the mobile industry, right? It's been absolutely crazy. While a lot of us don't play much on mobile, well, you can't deny the fact that mobile is a big reason that Fortnite and PUBG and a bunch of these other games have been absolutely massive. Candy Crush is big for a reason. We don't play it. I don't play it, but you can't deny that it's huge, right?
No, I mean, listen. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. My wife and I used to play Candy Crush when we go in the room right before we go to sleep. We'd be playing on our tablets and then laughing and joking. So I played it. I still play Words with friends. It's a free to play word game that's like Scrabble.
Oh, wow,
I freaking love it, man. I'm still
That's
playing
old
that.
school.
Yeah, no, it's listen. The bottom line is, I think it was a fastback in the trailer. In the chat says that the price is always going to
Right.
be the number one, and he's 100% right. So if they the Xbox One S as itself is a really nice system, very very strong, well built, quality system. They took out a few things. If they power price this as a buck 50, it's gonna fly off the shelves. It really, really is, especially for the people that moved from one console to the other, and they don't want. You're never gonna get someone that was a 360 player that now is invested in the PS4. They're not going to forget all this money that they
Yeah.
spent over the last 5 years, but you can
Right.
still make them multi-console owners. And you
Mhm.
can do that with this system and Game Pass if it's priced correctly.
Totally. Yeah, let's hope they don't leech us, because I'm gonna say, Microsoft, I love your I love the Elite controller, I really do, but I think it's just way overpriced. A lot of the controllers are, but I guess that's where they make their bread and butter. But anyway, that's a case for another day. Let's get into some more topics, shall we? Chat has been rolling right along, guys. Thanks for coming out, and I hope you're enjoying the show so far. It's been a heck of a show, and yes, we plan to get Titan Drago on here. We need some loud people once in a while. Yeah, we definitely got a good Titan. By the way, Titan did a great. I don't know if you guys have been watching the Salty's gaming podcast, but he did
The
a
song
great.
is amazing.
Yeah, he did a great rendition. It was like a theme song for the show, and it's set to the tune of Elton's. Is it Elton John or
Yes,
no?
it is. It is Elton
Benny,
John
Elton
indeed.
John,
Yes.
Benny and the Jets, and he did a really good job. It's actually quite catchy. Once you start listening to it, yeah, it's pretty good. So shout out to Titan.
I'm not
It's
gonna
got
lie.
a-
I'm not gonna lie, Noof. I immediately became very jealous that I've had him on Breakfast with Boom numerous times. I didn't get a song, so I felt kind of wet.
I'll make my own song here. I'm gonna record one of these days with a guitar. I'll have to make one for me and Primal. I know how to write and play guitar, so I'll have to get one. I just got to get the right production values in there. But shout out to Titan. Shout out to all these gaming podcasts. Cyber Gunner, what's going on? Fastback, how you doing, bro? Thanks for jumping in. And Jago Cougar is in the house. He's ready
Good
to
old
rock
Jago,
Primal.
yes.
Oh
Oh,
man.
there he is.
Well, now that Jago is here, speaking of, and this really wasn't a topic, but really quickly, guys, what do you think of Mortal Kombat 11 so far? I'm not even the biggest fighting game in the world, but my God, does that thing ever look good? I could buy that game for the graphics alone. They're that nuts. What do you think, guys? Primal, what did your pubic hairs stand on attention for this one, or what?
I don't understand why you assume I have pubic hair. I have hardwood floors, and on occasion, I will have like a welcome mat. That's
Huh.
it.
You don't have to pull back the drapes at your house?
But I am a natural redhead. So
Woo.
Very, very nice to know.
no, Mortal Kombat is sexy as fuck. It definitely is. I do love some fighter games, but my loyalty and my love it goes to Street Fighter. But that doesn't mean that if I did get to play that I wouldn't kick some ass. I will adapt. But no, it's definitely gorgeous, and I hope it doesn't let down. I really, really, really hope it doesn't. And I know between Jago and Daz, there's going to be a lot of Mortal Kombat talk going on around Twitter. So it's just, I wish it the best, especially when Mortal Kombat is it's OG, So you always want to root for that. Thank you so much for the M ratings. That's great. You definitely like punched a hole in our gaming box to get us through to have other games have different content, which is fantastic. So yeah, kudos to Mortal Kombat. You look amazing for how old you are. I hope you keep on aging well.
Indeed. Way to sum that one up, Primal. Glad you're excited. Boomstick, how about you, man? You've always been a fan of these games, and what do you think of Mortal Kombat 11?
Well, I got to say, first of all, being that this is the first game of this generation where they're really maximizing the power of these consoles. Every time I see this game, you think that the last trailer was awesome. And then you see a new trailer with new old characters, and you see different parts of the story and the fatalities. I think this might be the most ridiculous, close your eyes, brutal fatalities I've ever seen in a Mortal Kombat game. Like, it was, some of them are just so unique and so outrageous that it just makes you look. I'm going to say this. This should not come off as a surprise. I have the $300 collector's edition pre-ordered. I have it almost paid off. It comes with the bust of Scorpion. I think it's a wearable mask. I'm never going to wear it. It's going to go up. It's going to go up in the shelf. But I'm very excited for this game. I'm very excited, like Primal said, that the fact that the game has so many years on it and it can still innovate and bring people to the store to buy is bananas. And it's just, look, we only know like the mainstay characters are coming. I'm really interested to see when Ed Boon is going to start dropping with the DLC guest characters, because they're usually very outrageous. I'm looking forward to that. I've actually tweeted at him. I think that one of two characters should show up from Killer Instinct, either Jago or Kilgore. Or Fulgore, for that matter. Either of those would be, or Saberwolf. Give me something. I know actually he talked about it. He said it a couple of years ago in a not joking tweet where he'd love to do a Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct. I'm still pushing for a Killer Instinct character in there. That would be amazing.
Indeed, that would be amazing. Yeah, I'm with both of you guys. The game looks incredible. Again, it really is starting to push the envelope. It looks like they're bringing a lot of great characters back. The fatalities are even more nuts, if that's even possible. But they are nuts. I'm definitely buying that one game day one. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fighting game fan in the world anymore. It used to be a huge thing back in the the early 2000s when Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat were ruled the roost and everybody else tried to copy them. But I'm definitely excited about it. And I'm going to want to ask everybody, and I want to ask this to the chat as well. I think there's a lot of people buying this game, but I want to know from the chat, who is your favorite or least favorite Mortal Kombat character? Favorite is probably easy to pick, and I would love to see if the chat's going to pick some people other than Sub-Zero and Scorpion, who are probably the obvious favorites for most people. I will put my favorite out there, guys, and I'll find out from the panel. My favorite Mortal Kombat character, believe it or not, is Liu Kang. I always loved Liu Kang. Reminded me of basically was Mortal Kombat's version of Bruce Lee. I always loved that the bicycle kick thing and the way he said, we got Shizno says Cabal. Spider-Man doesn't care. Timothy Dixon likes Raiden. Fastback also likes Raiden. King Boo is with me, and Liu Kang, Iceman, Scorpion, Sathius, Scorpion. John Wick should be in that game indeed. Andy Gamer says Noob Sabat. Cyber to Bruce Lee. Sub-Zero wins, says Antonio. Primal Eve. Sonya Blade. So Primal, you just put it in the chat, but that's your favorite?
Yeah, she's one of my favorites. She always has been from the beginning. Her move where she gets on your head and wraps your legs around your neck and just like gives that little snap. Yeah, I love it. I could do it all day. I don't know. I like it.
How about you, Boom? Who's your favorite?
But this is an oldie but goodie. Stryker. A lot of people don't remember him. Stryker was the cop for obvious reasons.
3, right?
Yes. Where he had the grenades, he had the nightstick. It's just I'm hoping they bring him back. I tweet at Ed Boon all the time. I think he might consider me a stalker, but I'm always asking for things. Stryker being one of them. Killer Instinct characters as guest characters would be awesome. That he's my favorite. My least favorite character is probably like I want to say, and this is going to probably piss a lot of people off. Is like Johnny Cage. I like him. I just never really liked him enough to, I like his story, but I just never liked him enough as a character to be like, I'm going to invest in learning all your moves.
Titan Dragon, my most hated character is Johnny Appleseed. Jago like Shang Tsung is one of his favorite. Stryker, not Striper.
Stryker.
Yes. He's a striper. That sounds weird. It sounds like
maybe he's a part-time stripper.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like LGBTQ or whatever the fuck you call it character coming into the game. Johnny Cage is awesome. Jay Slayer says Smoke. Yeah, I got some good choices up in here. Starbuck also said Smoke.
Smoke's a good one. Yeah, Reptile's an excellent character. I like Reptile also.
Here would be somebody gave me a great idea in the chat, and this would be awesome to send to the team over there at NetherRealms for their next game. They should do another game, but this one would be awesome. Build it on the Mortal Kombat engine. but call it like Legends of the Silver Screen. And what you would do is have all of the old like the movie star legends, get their licensing rights, and you could have guys like Jet Li and Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris and Arnold Schwarzenegger and like, you know what I mean, and Steven Seagal and Van Damme, and you get all these guys and put them in it. Wouldn't that be freaking awesome? Like I would buy that in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah, I think I think you should contact Ed Boon via something and let him know what you're thinking about, because I think you're really onto something. I mean, it would be pretty amazing to have, you know, I mean, obviously we've already seen like Jason versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, or
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason in, you know, in a Mortal Kombat game, but to have their own game, oh my God, that would be so.
Wouldn't that be nuts? All your old favorite action
Yes.
actors, and they're in a freaking game with their special moves or something like that. That would be
Right.
nuts. That would be nuts. I'm pretty sure everybody would buy that game. It would sell like crazy, you know, and get and it'd be cool for the actors because then they'd be immortalized into an actual video game. Not all of them have had massive roles in video games. I think a lot of them would be on board. It'd be so cool. Dolph Lundgren, the whole works. You know, you get them in, it'd be almost like the Expendables. You know what I mean? Get Terry Crews in there as well. It'd be hilarious. Oh my god! Right? Terry
Yeah.
Crews could have one of his special fatalities be like Old Spice or something like that.
Great.
Like stick your head in a jar and then you pump it out your ass, be like a pit stick or something. Oh my god. I'm sure everybody's waiting for some Arnold. Come on, Nether Realms. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure that you get out there and you sign us all. We would love to be in your game. I would kick ass because I would come in like the Terminator and I go over there and rip the skulls right out and I'd be looking for Sarah Connor the whole time. What the hell? Get her in there. Yes, get Randy Fils-Aimé in there as well. I want to punch him in the face and get what the hell is his name? And the guy that's making this stupid the walking simulator game. What's his name? Hideo Kojima. That guy needs a punch in the head. I mean, swear it. I want to beat everybody up. Do it.
Very, very nice. Yeah, you never know when you're going to get an Arnold to come into the podcast, and welcome Arnold, of course.
Yeah, they did an Expendables game back on the 360. Remember that top-down shooter or whatever?
Yes, yes. Actually, that's it, you know, shamefully enough, I actually really enjoyed that.
That wasn't actually, yeah, that wasn't actually half bad. Okay, guys, we got off topic a little bit. That wasn't really one of our topics, but we're running down the end of the show here. We got a couple real quick ones. Let's talk about Games with Gold. They just released the titles for April, and if you guys haven't heard of what they are yet, here is what you can expect to start out the month. From April 1st to the 30th, you can download a game called Technomancer. And also from April 1st to the 15th, you can download the legendary Xbox version of Star Wars Battlefront 2. April 16th to May 15th, you can get Outcast called Second Contact. And April 16th to the 30th, you can get one of my favorite Xbox 360 games, Ghost Recon 2 Advanced Warfighter 2, I guess you could say. So what do you think of the Games of Gold this month? Is it a hit or a miss? Do you plan on downloading any of them? Give us your take. Either one of you guys want to jump in? Ladies first, Boomstick.
I'll let Primal go first on this one.
All right, another short and sweet one. I've already played Ghost Recon and Star Wars. It's definitely cool. The Ghost Recon 2 is actually the one that really got me into Ghost Recon, so it's definitely a must play for me and for anybody else who hasn't played any Ghost Recons. I've never played the Technomancer. I don't even know if I said that right.
Believe it or not, it's kind of like Mass Effect.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. I bought it because it looked and played a lot like Mass Effect. I didn't finish it, but I put a couple significant amount of time into very, very Mass Effect-y, if you will.
Ooh, okay. Now I'm intrigued because I was kind of like passing up because I really haven't heard too much of either one of these. It's Technomancer, and what was the other one?
It's Technomancer. We've got Outcast Second Contact, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2.
Yeah, same thing with Outcast. I think it's something that I saw on the fly, but it didn't really interest me. But now, boom, you have changed my mind. I am going to be looking into the Technomancer and see how that is. I miss games like Mass Effect. I really wish that there was another Mass Effect done properly, BioWare. Yeah. I'll definitely give it a go and give it a shot. I like how they're bringing in a variety of games too. So it's not just necessarily like one genre and then that's it. Like you have options. So I think they're doing a pretty decent job right now with Games Gold. I
Mhm.
really like what they're doing with Game Pass, but I'll save that for another time. They're fucking kicking ass with Game Pass. But anyway, carry on.
I actually just sent you the trailer in your DM so you can take a look at it.
Oh, hi, boom, slipping into my DMs.
That's our review, boom.
Awesome. Boom. What do you think, man? Is it a hit or miss month this time around? I mean, there's a few games there. It sounds like a lot of people haven't played this time.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the thing you have to realize is there are so many really amazing Xbox 360 and OG Xbox games that people, you got to remember, we're the older crowd. There's so many new gamers on social media, so many new gamers that watch and listen to these shows that might have missed it. First of all, let's talk about this for a second. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was a multiplayer game. So you're like, well, my God, how are they going to release that on the Xbox One? They apparently are going to revive the servers to allow multiplayer on that, which is freaking bananas on a game that
Oh, sorry.
it's crazy. So it's you'll be able to play multiplayer, and I got news for you folks. Star Wars Battlefront 2 OG Xbox, in my
Mhm.
opinion, is better than Star Wars Battlefront 2 on your PS4 or your Xbox One. Graphics obviously are going to be taking a seat back, but it just played so good, and you can get in and out of the vehicles. You can get off a planet. There's so many innovative things in that particular game. Of course, what could you say about Ghost Recon? Two. It was amazing then. If you
Yes.
missed out on it, it's going to be great. And the two Xbox One games, I don't have them, so it's a big win for Boom.
Absolutely. Boom couldn't have said it any better. The games that are here, there's some real fire. I mean, how many people as well may have missed out on Battlefront 2 because it was an OG Xbox game and it was an amazing game in its time. And I think it even still holds up today. Sure, it doesn't look as flashy as the new one, but boy, that game was a very popular game for its day. It really did Star Wars right for the most part. It was fun. It had lots of throwbacks to the movies. I think a lot of people are dying to jump back on and give that one another shot. I had never played either Technomancer or Outcast or whatever it is, and I might have to just give them a shot. They look okay. So yeah, I think it's a pretty decent month. And as I said, how can you really complain about getting games that you know are essentially free? Everybody said, well, no, they're not free. Well, technically they are because you've always paid full price for Xbox Live even before they were giving us free games. They don't have to give us anything. They never did, right?
Right?
I know
No.
why they did because they were trying to save face when PlayStation Plus came out and PlayStation Plus was giving games. And we all know why PlayStation Plus gave people games. It's because they had to bait in all the people that were used to playing PlayStation for free. That was their bait. They're like, how can we get guys who are playing online for free to fucking buy our service? Well, they're not going to, we can't just charge for it and give them nothing. So we'll put some great games on and boom, there you have it. And then when PlayStation 4 came in, well, you basically have that PlayStation Plus because they cut out the free online. So there you go, right? And just this year, just back in March, they cut out the PlayStation Vita and PS3 games, I think. So now you're getting less over there than you were before. But anyway, and I'm not doing this a PlayStation Plus versus Xbox. The games are good. Go download them, guys. Go play them. If nothing else, if the whole 4 games are there, definitely go try Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 because that game was one of the best tactical shooters ever on the Xbox platform. It was a real technical showcase too for the 360 when it came out. It was freaking fantastic. So yeah, it's a pretty good selection overall. Let's kind of round out the show. We're going to get into one of Primal's topics now, a bit of her questions. Primal, I don't know if you want to pass this one to the panel. I'm going to skip the movie stuff right now. We don't need to talk about Shazam and all that stuff or superheroes. I want to get right into your topic. I'm going to let you pop out this the questions and stuff to the chat and obviously to the panel. Take it away, Primal.
Alrighty, to the chat and to Mr. Boomstick and the Noof of the Nukem. What are your guilty pleasures? What are the things that you do that you may not necessarily tell somebody about, or if you want to keep secret? It could even be a game that you play that you might hide from your achievements or from your play status.
You want me to go first, Noof, or you want to go first?
You go ahead, man. You're the guest. You take it away. Let us know, what are your guilty pleasures, brother?
Well, one of the more guiltier play games that I played, and I'm not ashamed to say, because it was a it was a free game on Xbox Live Gold, and that was Brave. I played the shit out of Brave. It was so good. It was like a top-down dungeon crawler with the Brave character. It just I got almost 1,000 achievement points, and they weren't easy. I went back in, because I was enjoying the game so much. So you know what? I beat it, but I'm missing these achievements. I went back in, and I want to say that I put 15. My God, I might even put 20 hours into that game. It was, again, it was for free. Games with gold, and I'm like, how? Let me just check this out, and it was really amazing. I enjoyed it. So that's one.
All right, that was one, and I gotta admit that game was actually a lot of fun. If you took away just the name of the game because it's associated obviously with the Disney movie, but like that was a pretty solid game. It had great controls. It was fun. There was different variety in the weapons and stuff. Like again, it was a good game, not only for kids that probably love Brave, but it was a lot of fun. The great pick there, Boom. What else, brother? If anything.
I don't really have anything else, to be honest with you. Again,
how about a movie or food or anything that you sort of feel weird about eating or watching?
Well, no real food
or music that you listen to. Is there an artist out there that if you told someone, they'd be like, "Oh my God, Boomstick listens to that shit"?
You know what? I don't know if this would be considered a guilty pleasure. In fact, I was listening to it today because I grew up on it. I'm a huge fan, especially when I'm in the gym and I need like motivation. Like I listen to all kinds of music from the 60s all the way to current. So I grew up on the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, but I can listen to everything in between. I'm a big fan of 90s rap. It just was so awesome. Redman, Method Man, Tribe Called Quest, DMX, Onyx, stuff like that. I mean, I when I'm in the gym, and I'm in the gym 4 days a week, I listen to mostly 90s rap. It's just I love it.
Awesome. Now, before we get over to Primal, let's just check out what the chat is saying. Middle-aged game guys that have played Barbie games to boost my gamer score. I don't know if he's just shitting with us or he actually did that.
No, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Fastback, so brave of you, Boom. I see what you did there. Timothy says would have to be the Lego games. He used to play them with his kids, and now they're grown up. He still plays them. And Lego games is not. Lego games are very solid. You know what? If you took away like the Lego factor of those games, and you say you put in realistic graphics, a lot of those games would have been damn good. Like some of those are the best like licensed property games ever. Like they followed the scripts of the movies pretty good. Like seriously, that's pretty sweet. Creeper, I'm ashamed of my addiction to Fantasy Life on 3DS. Some great choices here. Prime wasn't middle-aged game with Michael Jackson singing game on the 360. Listen to the Rocky 4 soundtrack when I'm working. Rocky 4 was an epic soundtrack, bro. Primal, how about yourself? What are your guilty pleasures?
I am a horrible reality TV junkie. I don't know what it is, but I love that trash. I know some people hate the word trash, but reality TV is trash. And I know it's not all real, but for some reason, just seeing some drama, like there was one episode on one of the housewives thing, and this woman got so angry at the other woman about not like going to her party that she took off her prosthetic leg and threw it across the room to hit the other woman. I think that's fan-fucking-tastic. I could watch shit like that all day.
That's crazy.
No, it's seriously, I absolutely love it. I love watching other people's drama because it gets away from my own drama. Another guilty pleasure. This is kind of weird, and this also kind of new. Somebody introduced me into eating the Stacks chips.
Oh yeah.
With cottage cheese.
Really?
It's really super weird, and I was like, I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I was like, wow, this is pretty good. So every once in a while, I'll sneak some cottage cheese and Stacks together. It's really fucking weird. But
it almost sounded like you said, I'll stick some cottage cheese and sex together. That would be kind of kinky.
Oh man, it gives you that extra texture, It's
Uh,
it's chunky for your pleasure.
uh,
Um,
ugh.
I'm gonna kill myself. There's like some shit going on with my throat right now. I've been having some
Little too much
issues
cottage
lately.
cheese.
But yeah, that's I probably have a lot more of guilty pleasures here and there. I'll let them out, but I'll stick with those two for right. Oh no, wait. There's this one game. I don't know if anybody played it. It came out on the 360. They had a sequel come out on the Wii. It's called Oni-chan Bara Bikini Samurai
Yes.
Squad. I was in love with that so much that I unlocked every single outfit, and then I actually bought the made for TV movie that came out in Japan so that I can continue on with the journey. It's something that I wouldn't normally admit because it's not really yeah, I guess it is a game I would play. I take it back. But yeah, I don't not a lot of people I know have actually played that game. I never hear it brought up. I know there won't be any sequels or anything like that, but yeah, I'll throw that one out there.
Nice. Some great guilty pleasures up in here. Honestly, a game that I like, and I don't know if if I get laughed out of the park. I was just playing it the other day, but every time I play it, I feel like a guilty pleasure, and I don't know why. And I guess it's got to be that Disney 3.0. It's on the one with the little toys. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, the little figures or whatever. Well, I'm playing that the other day, and I really like it. Like the game has got a lot of charm. It plays good. It's fun, and it's really cool. You put the little characters on in the base, and they show up in the game, and then you can build shit, and you can do a lot of weird, wacky stuff. It's almost like a game and a building thing, and that one is definitely up there, even more so than the Lego games. Um, I guess in terms of like music, I'll get laughed out of the building on this one. Not only do I think this girl is amazingly sexy, like I have the massive hots for her, but I actually like her music a lot too, which is kind of cool. And that would be Selena Gomez. I don't have any Selena Gomez fans in the house, but that girl just does it for me. I don't know what it is about her, but my lord. So that's another guilty pleasure right there. I think that'll pretty much do it for me tonight. So yeah, I think that's good. Anybody else in the chat want to chime in? Fastback says I watch Hallmark with the wife sometimes. It's disgusting.
Yeah. No, I do too. I find myself watching these horrible Hallmark family feel good movies, but the best ones are like the thriller crazy ones where like the daughter is dating the mother's boyfriend. And then for some reason the boyfriend ends up getting murdered and it turned out that it was like the teacher because the teacher was having an affair with the mother and it's some crazy ass shit. I love it. I don't know. Sorry.
Great stuff. Great. Oh yes, I do like the Latina cyber gunter. Latina women are sexy, feisty too. Normally, if the rumors are true, but some very sexy Latina women out there, indeed. Well, I think that's about it. But before we close the show, I'll leave it up to Primal and Boom if they want to add anything here before we do our outros. Any questions you have for the panel or the chat or anything like that? Go ahead. Now is your time to put it out there. Boom, I'll start with you since you're the guest. Any final words before we do the outros?
No, I'm just a great episode. Lot of stuff, a lot of good talking points. Chat was on fire from start to finish. Of course, I really enjoyed being a guest on today's show. If you're interested, tomorrow I'm going to be on Salty's channel with doing our gaming news at noon with Salty and Boom. Thursday is the Xbox Factor podcast, and Friday morning is the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom. So hopefully everyone tunes in and we can have a great show. Noof, you are going to be a guest.
Indeed, and I can't wait. It's always a fun time. Breakfast with Boom. I get up with my coffee. Boom always has his shit ready to go. No stumbling through the bushes for Boom when he gets up on fucking Friday mornings. Let me tell you, this was another great podcast. So honored to have Mr. Boomstick here, and I'm
Yeah.
always super awesome that I can hang out on Tuesday nights with Primal. She is an absolute class act. She's awesome, and we've had a great chat too. You know what? You guys are fantastic. There's a lot of familiar faces that come out to this podcast. I've been supporting since week one, Primal, right?
Mhm.
And Brian F., what's going on, brother? I don't know if I gave you a shout out earlier, but again,
Brian's a good dude. Brian's definitely a good dude.
great people here. I know there's lots of people here in the chat that are fans of you, Boom, and that's fantastic. See the indie gamers here. Great guy, man. Does some great work with his podcasting and stuff. I know he's been a guest on your shows a few times, Boom. There's lots of great people. Tip Top Dalton, what is happening, man? Matthew Roy Couture, Cyber Gunther, Jago is here. Like I said, guys, your support is fantastic. I hope that you keep spreading this around like herpes without the negative effects. Share those links out, tell people about it. I think we got a cool little show here. Not a lot of people doing something like this. Again, we appreciate the feedback. We appreciate any suggestions you have. Again, if you want to see a guest on the show, we've already had a few suggestions for Mr. Titan Drago. So we're going to line him up one of these nights. Easy Money Gamer, what's going on? You've been quiet. What's happening, bro? So and if you've never done a podcast before and you think you'd just like to be on here, as long as you know some gaming stuff or whatever, we'd love to have you. This isn't like we don't pick favorites. We just go with the flow. You know what I mean? Except it's Aunt Flo, that monthly visitor that the ladies hate. When is the next game night? Yes, we need to plan one very, very soon. We'll wait till Primal kicks everybody's ass on Gears, and then we'll line up another one. How about that? But anyway, guys, Timothy Dixon, thank you, sir. Thanks for being here, everybody. Sathius, appreciate your support, brother, and I'll check out your message on Xbox. Let's get to the outro, and we'll start with the always incredible Mr. Boomstick XL. What's happening? Where can people find you?
Well, hit me up on Twitter. The DM is open to all because I really enjoy talking with the community at Mr. Boomstick XL. And of course, if you're interested in lots of live content, 3 live shows weekly, check out my channel, Double Barrel Gaming on YouTube. I guarantee you will find something that you like. And I do unboxings, which I'm going to be doing one tomorrow for Sekiro, the collector's edition. So look forward to that.
Awesome. Great stuff. Primal, where can people find you, lady?
You guys can find me in my bedroom. No, you guys can find me on Twitter at Primal Eve. I'm also on the Xbox and PSN, also at Primal Eve. I'm here Tuesday nights. I absolutely love doing this show. It's great to do something different, and I love having guests on here so that way let loose a little bit from like your average shows and stuff like that. I think it's absolutely fantastic. A major huge shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for being with us every week. It's fantastic. A lot of you guys I know have followed us over from the Game Dosage as well, which is great. I love loyalty. My birthday's this weekend. No. But yeah, I hope everybody has a good night. I had a great time, and I'm really excited for next week's episode.
Absolutely. Hey guys, if there's one thing I can tell you already, that Boomstick is doing way more shows than Sony in 2019.
I like that. Yes, that is correct.
Fantastic show, fantastic chat. As always, guys, you know where to find Noof Nukem in the gutter. I can't wait to come back here again with you all and hang out with you on Tuesday night. And again, always keep an eye out for my Twitter because I'm doing these random streams all the time where I'm playing games and shit. And because we like to do that too, besides talking games. And obviously, you'll find me on Thursday nights over with my other crew, and that is the Saltiest Gaming Podcast. Myself, Titan Drago, Saltiest Gaming. Used to be Nintendo Direct, but he had some stuff come up. Who else did we add in there just recently here? It's a fucking shame that I can't even think of the names because I know we added somebody. Who the hell was it? It was Ashtray. Ashtray's in there.
Ashtray Gaming, yes.
Yeah, Ashtray. Yes. Bloody Knuckles. Yes, can't forget Bloody. Bloody is there. So yeah, it's a good time. We have a good panel. We usually have a few guests. Boom's been a guest on there a few times, and I'm sure he will be again in the future. Axel 1324. Take care, man. I think it was Axel. Did you say you had a birthday? Whoever's celebrating a birthday, guys, happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Friday, March 29th. Happy birthday, Iceman. Maybe maybe show some cleavage. Yeah, go show some cleavage or something on your Twitter page, and maybe somebody will send you a game. Oh yes, Hyena Den. Jesus, thank you for my God, what's wrong with my brains tonight? I can't think for the shit. Primal Leave is March 31st. Hey, Primal, you're
fun. Oh, I know you're
a couple days away from my wife. My wife's birthday is March 28th. Man, lots of cool people celebrating birthdays this month. No wonder everybody gets one. I know, Spider-Man. I know, man. My brain's just not functioning tonight. But anyway, guys, we will catch you again soon. Make sure you send your love to Primal on the 31st. If you got a game code lying around,
Don't make me cry.
There you go. There you go. Maybe she'll end up with something fun. You never know. May 7th for Sathius. Titan Dragos, his birthday is tomorrow. Is that real? Is that true, Titan? Your birthday's
Are you
tomorrow?
serious? Now I'm starting to think people are bullshitting. Are you
Yeah, I'm
serious?
starting to wonder too. Everybody's trying to get a free game code here. Me.
Game
Anyway,
code
everybody.
for all.
Oh, this is fantastic. You guys have a great night. We'll catch you on the next one. Boomstick, thank you for so much for being here, brother. We appreciate it. I will see you
My
on
pleasure,
Friday
brother.
morning. Primal, have a great night. Chat, peace
Yes.
out. Go play some games or go get your ass kicked in Sekiro. Yeah, so we'll catch you guys soon. I won't play it, guys. So you'll hear me curse too much. Anyway, take care. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.